Serving the Wyoming Lions, and that's my job is you don't serve me, I serve you. So it's been a very nice place to be able to serve District 15 in Wyoming. So to get this going, I'm going to ask Kenny to find out where I'm at. Kenny Lee, with him is his wife Connie, and Kenny will leave us in the case.
Do I get to talk some, or do I have to just pray?
Say what you want.
I don't know. I was thinking you guys probably have never heard this before, but give me 2 minutes. No, I was thinking, growing up in Sunday school, I always heard about Daniel and the lion's den. I couldn't stop thinking about that coming in here. Hopefully you're a friendly group of lions, right? I don't know if it's appropriate or not, but you put a pastor in charge of prayer. And so I wanted to share one thing that kind of shaped how I'm praying tonight for you guys, for us tonight. James 1:17 says, every desirable and beneficial gift comes out of heaven. The gifts are rivers of light cascading down from the Father of light. There is nothing deceitful in God, nothing two-faced, nothing fickle. It's from that understanding of that scripture tonight that anything good that's happening in our world is a result of God's activity in us, through us. And in this particular situation, the Lions Club, I don't have a lot of experience with the Lions Club except here in Cody. And there's a lot of good that comes out of our club here in Cody that I appreciate very much. And we've been supportive of over the years. But that goodness that's coming is something that's part of God's activity in our lives. And I wanted to just express that as I invite us to pray together tonight. Father God, we thank you for your goodness to us. We are grateful to get to be your hands extended to do a portion of the good work that is needed in this world, and that in your wisdom you created us to do. As we celebrate the good work and the camaraderie we have in this organization, and partake of this meal together, we ask you to bless the food, bless those who are serving us, bless our conversations, and help us to be a blessing in our homes and communities. We also ask you to bless the work of the Lions Club in our state and around the world as we all seek to help our communities and the people who live in them. We also are mindful of those who serve and protect us. We ask you to cover and protect them. And finally, I ask you, Lord, to bless these men and women and keep them, that you would make your face shine upon them and be gracious to each one. May your countenance rest upon them and give them peace. Amen.
Amen. To add to that, I have my pin. It says do more than participate. And that comes from a poem called Do More, written by William Arthur Ward, and I would like to read it to you. Do more than belong, participate. Do more than care, help. Do more than believe, practice. Do more than be fair, be kind. Do more than forgive, forget. And do more than dream, work. And do more than teach, inspire. And do more than earn, enrich. Do more than give, serve. And do more than live, grow. And do more than suffer, triumph. To me, that's Lions. Enjoy your meal.
I'm going to shut off the microphone for a few minutes while people enjoy their dinner. We'll resume again when the international, immediate past international president begins to speak. Thank you. The program should be resuming shortly. Thanks for your patience.
May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please?
Okay.
I only like to say this 3 times. We have a crew here, I think they did a great, fantastic job for the weekend. Let's give them a 3-line roar. Ready? Roar! 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 Thank you very much.
See you in the morning. Have a good night. Turn on the lights.
Been on for an hour. There's only 2 of us in this whole group that can bark like that. The other one's different.
Appears it may have been a false alarm, but please stay tuned. I'm sure Lion Gary will get start the program in just a few minutes. Thanks for your patience.
Hey, lady. Yeah, they were there.
Still working?
I'll just throw the belt behind No, Don. I don't know what I I know Terry was great. He's looking at me. I said, you don't find it. I will pass. See, I pulled over. See what the legacy of this guy. This guy is talking. Find him. So cheap. Doesn't want. It's okay. I
Thank you again for your patience. It's probably been destroyed. It's probably been destroyed. What's up? Okay. When you first started out that
Hey, you want help? Yeah, so you're good. I get up, I get shit. I know. Get it down. So I have.
Never the No worries. Take your time. I'm just trying to get something done. I tried to do that stuff like
You mean half? Yeah. You want me to play? felt the hip arm. Yeah.
We're going to start in about 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 6 and 5.5, 5,
14,
4.5,
13,
10,
14, 19, 21.
and 32.
Pineapple. Bingo!
Okay, we had some drawings. It's a survey by the Rocky Mountain Lions Eye Institute Foundation. The winning club for $150 from the Eye Institute Foundation is the Riverton Lions Club. You have to talk to the treasurer or Lion John, our president. But I think it was a plant because we had a member of the Rocky Mountain Lions Eye Bank win. So you don't know, but also the Rocky Mountain Lions Eye Bank has a drawing, so they're going to do that this time before we get to our guest. No. Come on, Joe.
Hopefully you saw the picture. Doesn't Vanna look nice tonight?
Yay, Vanna.
Ted,
What?
whiskey?
Whiskey. Yeah. Whiskey. Whiskey. How do you spell Ted?
T-E-D-D.
R-E-D.
It's a double D.
Let's move inside.
That's
All
me.
right.
I want to see your driver's license.
Ted. Take care.
You didn't spell
No, I ain't my afternoon.
And I thank to the Rocky Mountain Lion Eye Institute and the Rocky Mountain Lion Eye Bank for participating in our convention. It was always a pleasure to have those two groups with us. So at this time, it gives me a great pleasure. You guys know, I'm just gonna call him Lion Doug. It's a lot easier than all those acronyms and all that. You know, as an educator, and I know every profession has all these acronyms, and Lions International, we have so many acronyms, we have to train people what they mean. So it's just so much easier to say Lion Duck. So microphone is all Lion Duck.
Any jokes tonight?
At the end. I won't be before you long, but first, let me say good evening. It's an thank you. It's an honor and a pleasure for me to be here in Wyoming. My first time. I don't know if it'll be my last time or not. I hope not too. As I said when I came in the other day, you know, this is one of the few states in the US that I haven't been to. So I can check this off the list. I'm down to 4. One is South Dakota, which I'll be going to next month. So that just leaves Montana, Idaho, and New Mexico. And eventually I hope to get to all of them. But that's one of the advantages of being in an organization such as this. It gives us the opportunity to travel around the world and in the US of A, of course, and to learn so much more about our country. I'm a big fan of Jeopardy. I can answer so many more questions now since I've been traveling all over the place. Let me tell you, really. My kids used to say to me, Dad, you need to go on Jeopardy. I'm like, no, I'm nowhere near some of these people. But I'm about ready to go now. I really. Gotta have fun, guys. I say that all the time. If we're not having fun, something's wrong. But it's an honor and a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me. The protocol, I don't think I heard protocol being said the whole time I've been here. So I'm going to attempt to do a short protocol. First, I want to say to District Governor Gary Rutherford, to the 4 past international directors, John Hopper, let's see if I can get them all. Mick Burris, Ken Knowles, and John, and Dom. Why did you tell me John? I thought you said John. I know there's a lot of Johns here. Dom. What's Dom's last name? No, that's John. Yeah. Okay, John Dom. There's 4 of them, okay? Past council chairs, past district governors, cabinet officers, Lions, and I don't see any Leos. I understand there's only one Leo club here. And guests, it's an honor and a pleasure to be with you this evening and to share with you about our great association, Lions Clubs International, the world's largest service organization with 1.4 million members around the world in more than 200 countries and geographical areas. With a motto of simply, we serve. We look for that opportunity to make a difference in the lives of those less fortunate. Service is who we are. Service is what we do. Service is why we exist. That is who Lions are. Each president has a theme, but I say each president has a message, but our theme will always be, we serve. Our international president this year, Brian Sheen from Bird Island, Minnesota. I was waiting for somebody to say that. A town with 956 people. And there's no water there. So I don't know how I got to be an island. But anyway, he's from Bird Island, Minnesota. And his theme this year is Together We Can. Together, there's nothing that we cannot accomplish when we work together as Lions. Some of his priorities, one of them is that he's asking us to think out of the box. You know, we've tried so many different things, and a lot of times we invite new people into our clubs, and they come up with a suggestion and was, oh, we tried that 30 years ago and it didn't work. That is the best way to silence a person in the club. They'll probably never make another suggestion. As opposed to say, you know, we tried that 30 years ago, it didn't work. Maybe it'll work now, or give them the reasons why it didn't work, and they may see that it may not still work now. But let's not, you know, just shoot people down right away like that, because the service is what we're all about. Now, one of our things that we need Lion clubs to do is to report their service, because we have a goal to serve 200 million people a year. And that came out around the time of Campaign 100. But you didn't hear much about the number of people to serve because the focus was on the campaign. Well, last year we served 475 million people, and that was with only about 57% of our Lions reporting their service. So just imagine what that true number is if all Lions clubs report their service. So please, let's make sure that we're sharing that message with our Lions clubs to report the service that we're doing in our communities. We hope to be able to say at some point that we serve 1 billion people a year, so that when we go out to the corporations, we have something now called CSR, the corporate social responsibility. We're reaching out to corporations that do business in our communities and take all of this money out of our communities. We want them to give it back. And what better way to give it back than to give it to the Lions? Because we'll make sure that it gets used properly in our communities. And when you can say we serve 1 billion people a year, how powerful is that? So let's make sure that we're reporting our service. One of my priorities was communication. And I said 3 times, communication, communication, communication. Let's make sure we're communicating with our Lions at all levels. Let's make sure they know about our foundation. They understand who we are and what we do. When we give them that new member kit, let's make sure that they understand what the material in there is all about and that we're about service. We don't want to bring them in and just ask them to sit at a table and share a meal and then go home. People join to serve. And that's another thing I talk about service. Let's give our Lions an opportunity to serve, not only to serve the public, but to serve our association. And what do I mean by that? Let them chair committees, let them become officers in the club, 3rd vice, 2nd vice, president, which is one of the requirements to move on to become a governor, and to serve as a zone and region chair. Now, many of you know, several years ago, very recently, we put this new policy in place that you can't run for 2nd vice district governor if you've already been a governor. And I went to the Q Center where we have the training for the incoming district governors in 2000. We had 30 classrooms. I visited all 30 of those classrooms, and one of the questions I asked was, how many were repeat governors in the classrooms? There were only 3 classrooms out of 30 where there was not a repeat governor. Then I found that there's people who've been governor 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Something's wrong. We're not developing our membership. Lions, we don't have a membership problem. We have a retention problem. Because we bring them in, but we lose them. Now, we know we can't control deaths, okay? But we lose more Lions for other reasons. I don't even buy the one with relocating, because you know what? There's Lions clubs everywhere. They can join a Lions club in another country or another state. And I've met some Lions here that have done that. They relocated and they connected with a Lions club where they were. But they leave for other reasons. They're not being satisfied. They joined to serve. They're not serving. Someone hurt their feelings. You remember, we're all volunteers. There's no paycheck that comes with volunteering. But we do get paid back. I always say we do get paid back when you see the smiles on the faces of the people that we help. When they say, thank you so much for making a difference. That's the payback we get. And that's why people join our clubs. So let's make sure we're giving our Lions an opportunity to serve and to grow, to become the future governors, the future directors, and yes, even the future international presidents. Training. Some of the best training you can get is in Lions. And it's free. So much is free, you go to the website. We have training courses that you can take on there. We have the Lions University. We got people with master's degrees and 2 and 3 master's degrees. No cost. You go to the training, you may have a little cost there, but a lot of districts will support you in getting there to get that training. And this is training that you can use not only in Lions, you can use it in your work life and in your family life. People tell me I'm a pretty good speaker. It wasn't always the case. And I credit Lions to giving me the opportunity to speak as a district governor and as a director, and now as a past international president. And the world's largest service organization, this little black boy from Brooklyn, New York, USA, the first African-American president in 106 years of the organization. How awesome is that? When we talk about diversity, we live the diversity. And with an organization such as ours, within 200 countries with all the different cultures, there are still some parts of the world that are not big on women in leadership roles, especially when you go to Asia. Now, we've had our first woman president, 2017, Gudrun Ingvadóttir from Iceland. I served both years with her on the board, 2010, 2012. And our first vice president now, Dr. Patty Hill from Canada, will be our president this year at our convention in Boston. We'll have our second woman president. And I had asked some of the family, when will we have our next woman president? And they said, oh, it'll probably be a long time. Well, It's not that long. As you know, women only became lions in 1987. And I was sharing with some of the folks here at the table. Now I figure out why it took them so long to let y'all become lions. Because they knew you guys were going to take over this organization. And you're well on your way of doing that. My district is now 67% women. Constitutional Area 3, Latin America, South America, 51% of their lions are women. And if we had not let women become part of this great association, where would we be? What would our numbers be like? We've been saying 1.4 million members much too long. I was a district governor, 1994, 1995. We were saying 1.4 million members. And here we are in 2023, still saying 1.4 million members. Now, have we not had growth over that time? Yes, we have. But where has it been? Outside of the US of A. So we're no longer the largest constitutional area. Anybody care to guess who is? Constitutional Area 6, India. Yes. We have 35 international directors. I remember when 17 of them were from the US. Now there's 11 from the US. Look at where our international conventions are now, more outside of the US than it used to be, because when we vote on it, it's the directors that vote on where these conventions are gonna be. And more are winning outside. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it comes into play. We have to do all we can. My thing when I was governor was each one bring one. Just imagine if each lion found one person that they could bring into this great association. 1.4 becomes 2.8. We want to be able to continue to say that we are the world's largest service organization. Rotary's catching up. They're catching up. But I hope we can maintain that. And it all begins with an ask. We have to ask people to become a part of us. We can't assume that they don't want to become lions. And sometimes we have to ask more than once before they finally say yes. And I've experienced that myself. I had an employee that worked for me. I never asked them to join. I go to a function for the Crown Heights Lions Club. Who's sitting behind the desk? One of my employees. They always said to me, you never asked me. So I shared this earlier. From now, I keep an application in my pocket, and I don't miss an opportunity to ask people to become a part of us. And we want them to become a part of us. When you think about the world population, 8 billion people, 1.4 million is less than, I can't even do the math on that one, less than 1% that we have scratched the surface. So there's a lot of opportunity out there. There's a lot of people like you and me who get it, who understand the importance of giving back, making a difference in our communities. I also think, where would the world be without lions? When disaster strikes, lions are there. I shared earlier, because of our foundation, the grant giving arm of our association, we have given out $1.2 billion US in grants since the foundation started in 1968. It's only 54 years old. And disasters are happening more and more around the world. So there will be more calls for support from our foundation. And if we don't continue to support it, how will we rise to those challenges? When clubs and districts have those functions or events or projects that they want to do and can't do it on their own, they can reach out to our foundation for support. I mentioned the amount of $775,000 that the Rocky Mountain Lions Eye Institute, I got that one, it's a mouthful, have received from our foundation. And that's through the grants and through you asking for that support. So I know this year our goal is to raise $50 million. We're well on our way. We get a report every Friday. And yesterday I got the report. We're at $45 million. Give yourself a hand. And now me being the financial person that I am with the banking background, I added a 10% stretch goal, which means we need to raise $55 million by our convention in June. Yes, and I know we're gonna do it. We're gonna celebrate. And speaking of our convention, Boston, however you want to say it. I'm New Yorker, so that's the New York accent. It's not that far. Next year, it's in Australia. Now, which one do you have a better chance of going to, Boston or Australia? Boston. So, and if you've never been to an international convention, you really need to experience it. Lions from all around the world. The parade is something you need to see. The costumes, the dress from all over the world. The friendships that you make that'll last a lifetime. Same thing you'll experience at our USA Canada Forum. Some of the best training that you'll get is at a forum. And again, you'll meet people. And I like the system that they use for the meals. You're never sitting at the same table with the same people, which forces you to meet new people. And as past directors and international presidents, we host the table. And I always go around the table and ask everyone to introduce themselves and say how long they've been a Lion. And we add up the years, and you usually wind up with 300, 400, 500 years of experience at the table. And we don't have to see each other every week. You know, we see each other once a year, maybe every 2 or 3 years. But those friendships really last a lifetime. And that's part of the payback that we give for the service that we provide to others. We truly make a difference. Now, you know we have 5 global causes that we are supporting. Actually, it's 8, but we talk about the 5, which is vision, hunger, the environment, childhood cancer, and diabetes. Those are the main 5 causes that we support. And Lions have different projects that they're doing around those causes. We recently had some Lions that did a beach cleanup. You'll be amazed at the amount of junk that comes out of our oceans. You'll be amazed. Who knew? Now, some of us knew how trees gives off oxygen. We learned stuff in this organization. We had a president had a goal to plant 1 million trees. One of my presidents, when I was on the board, Dr. Tam from China, got off to a slow start. At last count, there's somewhere around 30 million trees that have been planted. All from an idea. All from an idea. This organization was started off an idea by a gentleman of the name of Melvin Jones, an insurance man in Chicago. Used to meet with his business friends, something called the Businessman Round Table. And they started talking about doing something to help people in the community. And out of that came Lions Clubs International. 106 years of making a difference in our communities. We can all be proud of that. We really can. And I talked earlier about telling our story. We have to share with people what we do. We're not bragging. And I think that's part of it. We do it because we understand it's the right thing to do to make a difference in our community. But we have to share our story. The one that really touched me, and I shared it earlier with the group that was here, that in 1956, a Detroit, Michigan Lions Club brought a little 6-year-old boy, blind boy, a set of drums. Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder. Just imagine what that effect that had on his career. I was sharing with them earlier that I was hoping we could have got him at our 100th anniversary. How cool would that be for him to walk out on stage and say, "Hi, when I was a kid, the Lions Club bought me a set of drums," and start singing the song, "My Cherie Amour," whatever. There's a host of songs that he's done. We played a part in making that happen. That's what Lions do every day around the world. I was recently in Kenya, Africa. Got to go on safari. Check that off the bucket list. But we were there for the Lions Day with the United Nations, but they added a week of service, a worldwide week of service. We inducted 18 people into Lions, and most of them came to us asking to join. Why? Because they saw the service that we were doing. We screened thousands of children. We fed thousands of children. We sponsored 100 cataract surgeries while we were there. And I had the opportunity to sit with a gentleman when we were taking the patches off his eye. And I held up the 2 fingers. I asked him how many fingers. Held up 3 fingers. He easily answered that question. He said, "I can see all the way over there." How cool is that? I get chills when I share this information with you. We truly make a difference in this world. So let's continue to serve our communities. Let's invite others to join us in this mission of service as we go into this second century of service. So I often say with more hands, we can provide more service. And I often ask people, how will we be remembered? What did we do while we were here on this earth to make a difference? And we're not a religious organization. And whatever God you worship, I'm sure we won't be impressed with how big your house or how fine your car. But what did you do to make a difference in someone's life? As Lions, we can truly say we feed the hungry, we clothe the naked, and we have give sight to the blind. What a beautiful legacy. You know, I shared this story. My father-in-law passed away some years ago, and we were at the service. And we have I think a retired minister here, Kenny. Sometimes, you know, it's very difficult when you're eulogizing someone to talk about them and find good things to say. Because when I was at my father-in-law's funeral, I wanted to get up and walk up front to make sure the person that they were talking about was the one that I knew. But as Lions, they can truly say, we make a difference. We have a beautiful legacy. So we must continue that legacy. Now, we're often asked about what's your most memorable trip you traveled. You guys might get a kick out of this one. I'm in Minnesota, February of 2011. And I said to them, well, I've been invited to go to Canada, up to Manitoba. And they said, oh boy, you know, it gets cold up there. Well, it gets cold in New York City. They said, make sure you take your long johns. So I'm getting ready for this trip. I fly from New York to Winnipeg. Then it's a 5-hour car ride to get to where the convention is, in a place called Swan River. So this nice passenger governor by the name of Wayne and his wife Nancy, they offered to meet me at the airport for the 5-hour drive to where the convention is going to be. So we get halfway, we stop for lunch, and I noticed this plug hanging off the front of the car. So I said, what is that? Now remember, I'm New York City born and raised. And he said, oh, you plug the car in at night so it'll start in the morning. I said, well, how cold is it? It was 42 below zero. We get back on the road, it starts snowing. And if you know the area, it's just flat open land, no trees or anything. One highway this way, tractor trailer trucks coming this way, and I'm getting a little nervous, could hardly see. So Nancy says, honey, I think maybe we should get off and spend the night. Yeah, I said, thank you, Jesus. We get off at a place called Dolphin at a Motel 6. We get a room, we spend the night, we get up the next morning. Sure enough, the car started. We get up to where the convention is going to be. Now, on most weekends you go, the convention's in a hotel, such as this, everything in the hotel, not up there. For every event, we had to go out into the cold. So the Friday night social was in a barn. Remember, I'm from New York City, born and raised. There's a tractor outside, and I kid you not, the tires were as high as the top of this door ledge here. I go inside, there's a cow-milking contest going on, a lasso contest going on. Then there's this wire basket with a chicken in it with numbers on the bottom. And I said, well, what is that? They said, oh, you bet on which number the chicken's gonna poop on. It's called chicken bingo. I said, okay. Then they had the nerve to tell me they do it with cows. I said, well, I'm so glad they didn't bring the cow here for this. Then we get through the weekend, the banquet and all. Sunday morning come, and we get in the car, we're making that ride back to the airport. My cell phone goes off. It's Delta Airlines. Your flight has been canceled. And it's the last one out of there. I said, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm getting the hell out of here. Get to the airport. The bright side is there's a Sheridan's 4-point hotel connected to the airport with a walkway where you don't have to go outside into the elements. I went and got a room, called my daughter, said, I will see you tomorrow. That was one of my most memorable visits in all of my travel. I don't know what it is about Canada. I just don't have good luck when I go to Canada. I go to an international convention, have 2 suitcases. One gets there. The one that I really need was the one that didn't get there. It's 2 days before it finally gets there. Okay, I finally get it. I was to the point where I was getting ready to go shopping, but I finally get the suitcase. I go to another convention. I go to Toronto, I think, and then had a connecting flight to, I can't even remember, it was Alex Bay or some Bay area. And it was a tight connection. So I get to the gate and they said, oh, we put you on the next flight. But I said, I'm here. Oh, but you can't travel without your suitcase. So they were calling downstairs to see if the suitcase would make it onto the flight. They said no. All right, so the next flight's 2 hours later. So I call them and say, well, I'll be on the next flight. Get on that flight. We take off. The pilot comes on, usually like 20, 30 minutes before you're getting ready to land. We're getting ready to land. 5 minutes later, he comes back on and said, he's turning around. We're going back because of visibility. I thought he was joking. Because of the visibility, we can't land. Sure enough, we went back to the airport. And there's only one more flight going out, and it's full. There was a nice gentleman who was on the line, rebook and say, well, I'm not, in a rush to get home. So he'll give up his seat so I can get it. But once they put it back in the system, you got 3 people rebooking somebody. But I get on this flight, and I finally get to where the convention's gonna be. No suitcase. Now you just told me I could not fly without my suitcase. So how did I get here and I don't have my suitcase? My most recent trip last week, went to Vancouver, Canada. Get to the airport on Wednesday evening for a 7 p.m. flight. Flight's delayed a little bit. We get on the flight, sit on the plane for 2 hours before they take us off. Be a short delay. We're off the plane 15 minutes, flight canceled. So now they're putting you up in a hotel, but I'm so close to home, I just took a car and went back home, said I'll come back the next morning. They rescheduled the flight for 10:40 p.m. a week ago, Thursday. Before I left home, I got the first message that the flight is delayed until 12:50 p.m. I said, well, I'll go on, because sometimes they get back on schedule or whatever. Only to get to the airport. The flight is now delayed to 5:30 p.m. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. What do? Sit in the airport for 8, 9 hours. We start to board the flight and they stop. I said, this cannot be happening. This just can't be happening. They were stopping to download some hardware for another plane. So why can't we still get on the plane while you're doing that? But anyway, we eventually got off the ground and we made it to where the convention was going to be. I was on Air Canada. I have already told my scheduler, don't ever put me on Air Canada again, please. And I'm only going in the summertime. Because after that experience in Manitoba, I don't want to go back up there. I just thought I'd share some of that with you. When we go to conventions, they always ask, what would you like as a gift? Thank God I don't need anything. Make a donation to the foundation so we can continue to support the grants. Or I go to Kentucky, and they have a tradition. Saturday night at the banquet, all dressed up with the white jacket on, the governor comes up with this big box. I'm from New York City. A rifle. We have very strict gun laws in New York City. And I said to myself, Lord have mercy, they give a black man from New York City a rifle. Traveling by plane after 9/11. I don't think so. They quickly assured me that they would ship it. I still have that rifle in the box, under the bed in my guest bedroom. Now, they had the tornado that went through Kentucky. December will be 2 years. Last January, I got to go to Kentucky, stood right where that candle factory was. You could still smell the aroma of candle in the air. Nothing but a slab of concrete. those big trucks that with the wax in it, twisted like you would wring out a washcloth. Cars tossed all around the place. We met a family had just completed their home, brand new home. Hadn't been 30 days. Hadn't even got insurance on the home. Completely gone. You see a toothbrush or teddy bear on the ground. But to see a tractor trailer wrapped with the Lions logo, pull up, generators, food, clothes to help people get back on their feet. That's what Lions do every day, 365 days a year, around the world. That's who we are. We serve. Please continue to serve safely. Serve with kindness because kindness truly matters. And let's make sure that we're giving our service from the heart because together we can and together we will. Thank you.
We usually announce our slate of officers in the morning, but we know the results, so our cabinet secretary asked me to give him the time. So here's our cabinet secretary, Jim.
This again was one of those highly contested elections. And Kathy and I had to count the ballots 3 times, just because they were so close that we wanted to make sure we got it right. I'd just like to announce our winners for district governor for 23-24. Somebody got that wrong on the ballot. I don't know who that could have been. Hey. Lion Bonnie Harrison from Cheyenne. Congratulations. For second and first vice district governor, second vice district governor for next year, first for the following year, Lion Ron Leathers from the Laramie Plains Club. Congratulations. This is the one that chased me down the hallway and said, I want to run. So, Rocky Mountain Lions IPIP representative from Wyoming, Lion Bruce Heimbuck, Cheyenne Sunrise Lions. Rocky Mountain Lions Eye Institute Foundation Board, Lion Dave Orr from Cheyenne Sunrise Lions. Now, this next one was indeed our only contested position. For the Area 2 representative for the Wyoming Foundation Board, Lion Sean Martin. For the Area 3 representative, Robin Walters, past district governor, from the Pine Bluffs Lions Club. Area 6, from the Kemmerer Lions, Brad Wilford. Wyoming State Convention host and site for 2025. Now, this was a highly contested election. We had 4 possibilities here. The Cheyenne Sunrise Lions got 1 vote. Torrington Lions got 3 votes. And the winner, assuming that they actually want to do it, is the Pinedale Lions Club. So Pinedale, we need to get in touch with you and talk to you. And make sure that you allow to host the convention. The Wyoming host for 2026, the Bighorn Lions Club, and that convention will be held in Sheridan. So congratulations to all of you. Thank you for voting.
Could I have Lion Doug and all my past international directors come and help? I have some awards to present. First of all, as said, Roger Epp was our LCIF coordinator for our Campaign 100. So on behalf of the line district number, District 15, a little token of our appreciation, Roger.
Yes.
Wide angle was.
Eminem. How you doing? Yeah, right.
That's why they make a wide angle lens.
Okay, this afternoon, some of you may have noticed when we had a lion walk in the room and I introduced him, and it's past District Governor Al Parmalee from Casper. Welcome, Al, we'd like to have you here. And I asked Lion Doug if he would would recognize Al for his, help me out, John, 4 Sapphire Gold Melvin Jones, amounting to approximately $15,000 in donations to LCIF. So we'll come to you, Al, okay? Line Al is right over here, so.
And during campaign 100, there are different levels of appreciation. One was to be a model club. That means the club pledged $500 per member over the 3 years. It became 4. And we have the letter addressed to past International John Harper, but Sunrise Lions Club was our model club.
Share that the reason that happened is a proud member of our club lives in Casper Island. Thank you, Al.
So we also have a past international director, John Harper. He received the International President Award for your acceptable dedication to Lions Club International. I am most proud and appreciative of your commitment to the Lions Club International Foundation during the final and crucial year of Campaign 100, our most ambitious and successful comprehensive fundraising campaign. And then when we talk about being so progressive and comprehensive, the goal was $300 million. And the county of Montreal ended up at $325 million was raised during campaign 100. So we have what we call Global Action Team. And we have an area, a regional coordinator, Randy Woodenbush. He could not make it. His wife is in the hospital. But we all have an idea that we can give. This is called the Global Action Team Chairman Award. And there's only one given out for each district. And it goes to Lee McDonald. So at this time, I would align Gil and his son to come forward on behalf of the Cody Lion Club.
Yeah. What? Are you a son?
No.
Are you a son? You wish you were. You're my son. Really? Oh, really? Oh, geez, don't face. Must be the heritage of Gaudi.
That's something to present to our guest.
On behalf of the Cody Lions Club, we have a little project that we started 5 years ago. The result is right here. And it's diabetes for children. And we started out that all we want is pennies. But we want all your pennies. Not only in Wyoming, but throughout the country, throughout the world. Now, you know that money's not worth much anymore, so if you think about it, a few years down the road, your money's not gonna be worth anything. We wanna be in line just for your pennies. That's all we want. There's a story behind this. If you got time, I'll explain it to you.
We go.
This is how this started. In 2016, I lost my youngest son. And in cleaning out all this stuff, this was on his dresser. So I took it home. Thank you. I took it home because I didn't know what to do with it. So for 3 years, I looked at it on my dresser, still not knowing what to do with it. And one day, an idea came when I see this diabetes for children. I said, maybe, this would be the beginning for that money. Everybody asks you for money, but they want big money. I don't want big money, I want little money, but I want lots of it. So I took and I built a prototype. That's the prototype. We have 7 of them. We have 6 in service. We spread from Cody, we're in Powell, and there's a request for one in Franny. But tonight, a gentleman came to me from Utah.
Yep.
Now, we all know where the money is. And, they give each other 10% all the time. I don't want that. But Ryan Mike came to me and he wanted to know if he could take some pictures of the bank. And I said, certainly. Then he wanted to know if he could take the bank.
Full of pennies.
And at first I said no. But, you know, being an old retired guy on fixed income, a buck is a buck. So I thought it over and I said, I got an idea. Mike, you want to stand up? There he is. Look at him. Don't sit down. Mike, I'm gonna make you a deal. And we only have one witness, this room. I'm gonna let you take one of the banks for a year. Everything you make in that bank, I'm gonna split it with you. You send half to the Cody Lions Club, you keep half. Now, if the bank doesn't come back in a year, I have two friends in the cement business. You do have water in Utah, don't you?
They float in the Great Salt Lake.
But this is just our project in, you know, the smallest state in the union, but one Lions Club. So without further ado, my cohort, Bruce, and I have done this for the last 5 years. So Bruce would like to have something to say, and I'll step aside for a minute.
Well, when we started this project 5 years ago, the intent was going to be that for this meeting, we wanted to see how much we could possibly raise. And the down year of COVID set us back a little bit, but we set a goal for $5,000 from these 5 machines in Cody, Wyoming. And we fell just a little short, so we raised $4,700 for these machines. And again, this is just passive income. Once the machines are made, we just went out to supermarkets and places and said, hey, can we just set them here? The response was overwhelming, simply because who hasn't been touched by diabetes, whether personally or you know somebody? And we know that, you know, the diabetes affects blindness more than any other disease. So we were overwhelmed with this. We set this as a goal for other clubs to take. I mean, can you imagine if we can raise that much in this little town, spread these all over the country, all over the world, that could be millions of dollars for the Diabetes Foundation. So we brought this to our Lions board and said, you know, guys, we've raised $4,700, and the Cody Lions stepped up and said, well, let's round it up to 10,000, and gave us an additional $5,300. So. Presentation from the Cody Lions Club for $10,000 to the Diabetes Foundation.
Yeah.
One last thing. I figured out one way to get rid of this, and what I think I'd like to do is have Lion Doug, would you put this in our bank? Our bank, can I take it in? Don't forget, we only have one witness.
I don't want to forget it. And then the cement bit. You can have your go.
Sorry.
Yeah.
He does.
So as a district governor, I have the opportunity to work with the international president to get out some certificates for appreciation. I've read two, and they're signed by Lion President Brian Sheehan. And these two were very helpful to Lion Mick and myself. They are the people behind the scene. You didn't notice them. We have Lion Clay Nelson. Come forward.
Give him the mic.
And Lion Terrell Peterson. I'm sorry, the last one is, she's not here. She's an accountant. Guess what's due on Tuesday? Income tax. So she can't make it. She has taken over to our Wyoming Foundation as a treasurer. And because we merged everything in the camp challenge, as a treasurer, you can't imagine. We have a regular checking account for the foundation. We have an endowment account for the foundation. We also are the parent for the endowment of a fund from the Jackson Hole, so we have that she handles. Now we have the Camp Challenge money, and part of that goes for infrastructure, then 20% goes to an endowment. So you look at it, you have 5 counts. And then we have the Lions Gap operational budget. So this lady doing 6 accounts to keep them correct and trying to get out trying to show transparency to the Lions of Wyoming. But I want to recognize Cheryl Van Hoosen from Casper, but she's a member of Pine Bluff Lions Club. So, the President Leadership Award. So, Lion Dusty, I understand you have a gift you want to present.
Speech.
Keep it at 15.
So our club would like to present a gift to Ryan Doug in appreciation for his coming to Cody and visiting us. We thank you very much. Belt buckle. Wyoming belt buckle.
Good job. You're all good.
And on behalf of the Lions District 15, we're going to write a check on behalf of Lion Doug to the Lion Club International Foundation of $1,000.
Mr. Governor, Gary. District Governor Gary. I understand the Cody Lions Club, which is the big cheese around here, I'm hearing. Yeah. Ooh, watch that language. Anyway. President Dusty, please come forward. I'd like to present. We have 4 past international directors here. Please come forward. Yeah. I'd like to present you with my friendship banner.
It's exercise time.
That's hard on a 91-year-old.
Oh, that was 10 years ago.
I always like to recognize, now listen up so we get this right. Cody over there. Yeah, okay, listen up. Who has been a lion the longest? 50 years, 55 years, 60 years. Somebody can, come on now. I'm looking at all of this white hair in the room. Somebody's been a lion for, how long?
How long?
50. Anybody got more than 50? 52. Okay.
Nick?
Nick's got 90 years.
Well, since you both already have a banner,
John Kurtz, how many years? Can't remember.
First can't hear you.
I think too many years.
I think he wins.
It takes its toll.
What year did you join?
I don't know. I don't think I can beat Nick.
Well, he.
it is more than 50?
No.
No.
He's only.
You win the prize. For the lion who can't remember how many years he's been a lion, I'm going to give you the International President's pen. And you're going to also get one of my pens from last year. So you'll have the Service from the Heart pen, and you'll have Brian Sheen's pen. And if I could just get Holly, Rutherford, Stephen, Allen. I'm sitting to call Steve Allen. Steve Allen's wife. Come on up. Doing a great job for the foundation. chairpersons.
I like, as a district governor, this is supposed to be my convention, but it's Wyoming District 15 District Convention. But without the help of the Cody Lions Club and Ty and Clay and Dusty and Mick, I've been up here 4 or 5 times to get this together, but it's the Cody Lions Club that's helped put this together. Please stand up for a round of applause, Cody Lions Club. And they put in a tremendous lot of work. I know I just put on a lot of miles coming up here. But, you know, I got a payback. My club celebrated 100 years. 2 of them came down to help our club celebrate 100 years. My club is older than them. They gotta respect us. But it is great that we have such a good working relation within the District of 15. And he just goes to show you. Announcement is, we're moving the hospitality room because we had some complaints caused by a guy from Utah. So we had to move the hospitality room to the tag room 3, just right across the hall, okay? And hopefully we don't disturb people. We'll put a muzzle on.
We will. We're gonna.
Okay, so let's move. Lyon, Pastor's a good governor of Wyoming. He lives in South Dakota. He has an announcement for their convention.
Really, it's not an announcement for our convention, but you are welcome to come if you so desire. But no, I want a couple minutes to tell you that not everybody gets the same opportunity that I get. And that is, every year, if I so desire, I can come back to the Wyoming Lions. I can come back and sit in this audience. I was here for a lot of years. For you that are younger and you don't know who in the heck this guy is talking up here, I belonged to the Lions here for about 38 years. In the national director, helped with Mick all the way through. So when you get attached to a particular place, you have a tendency to always want to come back. And I drove a long ways there to come to this because this is one of my favorite spots. I get to see people that have helped me through the period of time they supported me. And I'll never forget that. And there aren't very many of us Lions in my position like this that have the opportunity to come every year and be treated as if I'm afraid they're going to give me a job one of these days. But it's been great and I appreciate it. And this was a tremendous one to attend. And what is really nice is that next month I'm involved with a big one in Spearfish, and we have our international guest is here, going to be there. And so I'm looking forward to that. So again, thank you very much. It's something that I'll always appreciate even to the last days. So thank you.
Just go tomorrow quickly before Cabinet Secretary as always wants to go. But for Sunday, for you people that are here, we do the celebration of life. These are the 9 members that passed away. We call it celebration of life because we'll talk about what they did for the community, what they did as a Lion. That'll be at 7:30, put on by David Orr. Our narrator will be our past council chair, Jim Reynolds. Breakfast will start from 8:30, okay? And that'll be over here. And then following that, we do a summit committee. You're welcome to stay. We get together at the cabinet, we kind of look at our convention, what we did right, and what Cody did wrong. Oh, Darcy, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Okay. So, but after that, we have a summer committee and then District Governor-elect Lee McDonald will talk about our district goals. And they're not his goals, they're district goals. And it's a way to get the year going for him. So at that time, I have my council cabinet secretary. He wants to.
We have a presentation we'd like to make. Lion Gary has been standing up here all night handing out awards to people for doing a good job. And he spent a whole year, well, not quite, I guess it's only April, isn't it? He's still got 2 months left. Lion Gary would like to present you with your district governor plaque for serving as a district governor this past year. So.
With no other business, this is adjourned. Have a great evening. Make it a great evening. Make it a great tomorrow. And drive safely. What there, Roger? Oh, if you're leaving early to try to save money, please leave these little things. These do cost the district money. We give them to Rollins, who'll be hosting. So just drop them on the stage. And if you're not going to come back tomorrow, so we recycle them. You can take out the meal tickets and your name. That way. How rude. Thank you.
Eyeglasses?
Oh, eyeglasses. If you brought boxes of eyeglasses, there's a couple pickups out there, counting number 6. If you stand on your head, it's
Door
9.
number 3.
Huh?
Door number 3.
Door number 3, license plate number 6. If you stand on your head, it's 9. For you people that, we're talking about after the hospitality room. Dusty, I will not mention any names. Okay? So get your eyeglasses in the pickup, get the lanyards turned in if you're not going to be here. Thank you for a wonderful time. Thank District 15. Thanks for my special guest, Ryan Doug, all my past international directors, my friend from Utah, Mike. Okay, have a great evening. Thank you.
That's great.
Good night, lonely single remaining viewer. Appreciate you coming and joining us. This is going to be available by the same link on YouTube. If you'd like to share it with your friends. Have a good evening. Thanks for coming.